and I am a senior student at Tongji University studying interior architecture and environmental design. And I am here to share my experience in global exchange with you. I've been to Tongji University and it's located in Shanghai, China. Being in a setting very different from what I'm used to, but not being there just for tourism reasons, but for learning reasons, I found it to be a very mind-opening experience, and it really challenged my own thoughts and my own navigation system. So I think it was a really enlightening experience. I think what we have in common is this kind of family or community. We're all part of this together, Tongji family or the Ozu family. I think these are really shared values between the two universities. Also the campus, the green campus, I thought it was very similar. Of course, any new experience you'll have some conflicts and challenges. Going there itself is a big challenge already. Some small stuff like paperwork, or also like finding the accommodation or the place you want, arranging the flights, all of these are kind of complex. But what I would give as an advice is to really take your time, not get angry if, for example, something does not work from the first time. What I found really helpful is asking people there. Of course, communication is not an issue because you have translation, technology is helping. So you just need to be confident and go ask the Chinese people, and they're so humble and so nice. They will help you as much as they can, and you'll not really have any difficulties if you ask people. But if you take it upon yourself to find solutions for everything, then that would be very hard. I think the Chinese culture is very different from what we think. I really liked about the culture how they're very humble. So they never think whether they want to help you or not. They never think if you're a foreigner or not. You're just someone they want to talk to, they want to engage with. A lot of times I would find some Chinese old ladies trying to help me, and then we would not understand one another, but she would bring her friend so her friend can help. She does not understand and I do not understand, but still they really want to interact with you and they want to talk to you. And even on a smaller scale in the class, I felt with the professors and with the students that it was a really learning environment. They wanted to listen to me and I wanted to listen to them too. It was less about debating or making a point of whether I'm right or you're right. It's more about us really engaging. I think it was very mixed. I did not expect to see as much international students, but there were a lot of international students. They had their own 2 dormitories buildings. Even in my class, I've had the chance to meet students from Austria, from Germany, from France, also from the UK, from a lot of places. So I think the environment there is very international. There is a big share actually of Chinese people, of course, but compared to that, the international community is very big. I think the dynamic life there is really impressive. You'd see tall skyscraper next to it. You'd see a really tiny old heritage house that's been conserved. So also you'd see the old and the young all in the same place enjoying the same thing, whether it's a food or a game. So I think this kind of future and at the same time past is really integrated in a beautiful way there. So I had 5 classes and their timetable is pretty different than the system we have here. So they're not always ongoing throughout the semester. Some courses start for the first 5 weeks, some start at the last 5 weeks and stuff like that. So of course at some point, if the courses are intersecting, I had some hard time because I had classes from 8 to 10 p.m. which is a lot, but it was for a few days only. Pretty similar, but at the same time very different from what I've had here. They really focus about the human interaction with the design itself, whether it's a building or a street or any kind of urban living context. What I found different from what we've learned here is how humble the studying was, in a sense that we weren't much into research or aesthetics as much as we were the ones who were doing these researches. We had an environmental design class, for example. We went and did some bird watching just to know what kind of birds are on campus. When we had like a design for a street, we went to the street, we asked the people, we asked the workers there. So I think in that sense, I really felt I was in touch with the design I'm making. For you to prepare your own plan, you need to look at the table that was sent by the university and look at their description rather than the name itself. Because almost all the courses I took had different names, but the content is almost the same. So I tried to kind of synchronize the table that I received, the courses that we have here in Tongji University, and matched them together, and then I sent them to my academic advisor. She advised me about some stuff like courses I should take, courses I shouldn't, and then I went there and I took them and I came back and we transferred all the courses just fine, I think. For my accommodation, we received a booklet from Tongji upon my acceptance, and that booklet had a lot of information about accommodation and all of the questions you had in mind if you wanted to go to Tongji. One of the pages was actually about accommodation, and they had recommended some apartments or like dormitories around the campus. Although there is, of course, in-campus dormitories, but finding a place there is pretty challenging. So I advise you to look at these options because they update them every year, and choose one of them, contact them maybe 1 or 2 months beforehand just to make sure you have a room when you arrive there. I actually stayed in a nearby apartment. It was like 4 metro stations away from the university, which was pretty convenient. In my own experience, I chose one of the apartments that were listed in the booklet. The services were good and the room quality was good, so you really don't need to worry. I think a lot of people have this image that maybe China is not as easy to like transport or go, but you don't need to worry about that at all. You will find a lot of options and you will really find it easy to go to the university from anywhere. As for my case, I didn't really have any specific savings, but I already had in mind how much I'm gonna spend there by just searching. Like you can get an idea if you open some apps to see like their food prices, for example. The rent will give you an idea of how expensive or not expensive a city is. But I think it is a bit higher than Istanbul for sure. What's different is that you can always find cheaper options in Shanghai, I think. I would suggest you apply maybe your 3rd year or your 2nd year, which will make your adapting better. Other than that, I think China and Tongji in specific were a really nice experience for me, and I consider it a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So if you have the ability to go and you're willing to go, then I totally support that. It's a matter of really how you spend your money and what you prioritize. But other than that, I think you can always go there even if you don't have the biggest budget. Estimatedly, for a month, you'd need to pay no less than $300, I think, for living expenses. As for the rent, it varies from like 3,000 yen to maybe 5,000, 6,000, 8,000, and so on. It is pretty manageable, but it's also about how you spend your money or where do you want to spend your money. I think a lot of us students are really in a rush to graduate and we want to just finish this academic life and start working and everything, but I would really advise you all and encourage you to take your time in your academic life. Go explore some countries if you can, sign up to some courses. I think it would really enhance your experience. Of course, work life is coming, but academic life might not come back again. So enjoy the process, learn a lot, ask a lot, and just explore.